how's life really like in rural China? And I mean real rural China. We are in a farmer's village in the southwestern region of Yunnan, which compared to the more eastern and coastal part of China, where all the skyscrapers are, this is considered a little bit more sort of underdeveloped as an area. And we've been living here for a few months, so I think we've learned a few things that we're ready to share with you about pros and cons of life in the village, the culture here, and how life's really like in a place like this. So we're going to talk about architecture, we're going to talk about the culture, we're going to talk about the people, we're going to go to the market, do some grocery shopping, a bit of sort of like day in the life here. And we're going to start with the architecture. So here, homes are called yuanzi. Yuan means courtyard, like the one where I'm standing right now. Unlike in the West, most places where you have one sort of unit with everything in there, kitchen, living room and bedrooms, here you have separate buildings organized around the courtyard. So for example, this one behind me, this building is the kitchen. That building is the main building with the living room, tea room and the bedrooms. If you cook something, you usually have to walk across if you want to eat in the outdoors area, or if you want to go from the living room to the kitchen, you always have to pass through the garden, which is kind of nice. Here is where we take our morning coffee.
Yeah.
And we chill with Mr. Coconut. We take our morning coffee here, and a very typical element is this wooden doors, big old wooden doors, and every house has a tea room. This is where you sit to drink the tea. We see it on the ground. Obviously you can have different styles, and this was the table to make tea, but we turned into an office. That's where I edit your videos, guys. Now let's go out in the village and show you a little bit the streets, the life, the other buildings, and see if we can see some villagers and sort of talk about a little bit more about life here. What happens when you get out of the house? We are here immediately out on the streets. We live in this like super tiny streets. There's plenty of tiny streets here in the village, and this is how one of the main streets of the village looks like. As you can see, nothing like, no many fancy buildings, no skyscrapers, not much modern stuff, but I really like the architecture. If you look and that one thing that most places here have in common are these very nice decorated roofs with this painting all over. I really like that way. There's a big lake, so we are between a huge lake and the mountains. Those mountains are about 4,000 meters high. We are already at 2,000 meters elevation. This at the door, this is very common in China. These are the two gods of good luck, so people have them both in the house, and this is Fu, symbol for good luck. Now let's go show you the center of the village, where life revolves around. But to do that, we're gonna go on a little ride.
This is called 大青树, basically meaning big green tree. First, when they start to build the village, they always plant one tree here. Like in every village, they have one 大青树. So from the size of the tree, you can see how old is the village. Wow. So ours, I think, is probably one of the biggest I've seen around here.
Wow, yeah. I guess we live in an old village. And it's lovely. Basically, the village life is tied to the tree, and the main square here, it has developed around the tree. There's also a temple here, right close to the big tree, and they have all these notices here when there are celebrations or festivals to tell everyone in the village to come join, something's going on. And this is the temple inside. And this is the banner of last year's festival. This was the Respect the Elderly festival, so where people, the elderly of the village and the people of the village, they kind of gather and they pay the respects to the elderly.
Oh, this one is a new house is built, so they're inviting the whole village.
Oh.
I don't know if we should do this too once ours, but this one is for that funeral. inviting everybody from the village.
Yeah, because here when there are funerals, weddings, the whole village is invited. We had one close to our home, for example, and people were going on a sort of procession. They would stop almost every house or every corner, and people would come out of the houses and they would offer food to the people who pay respect, and also the men would offer cigarettes, and this is a thing that they do a lot here. Cigarettes are like a currency of respect. Men are always handing out cigarettes when they first meet you, when you're doing a business deal, when there's a celebration.
Sometimes they just 5 minutes ago one person passed cigarettes to another, and 5 minutes later like they pass it back. It's funny. Yeah, and this is another wall. So basically they talk about not political stuff, but for example here it's like an election. I don't know for what.
Election? Okay.
Yeah.
For the village.
So they elect some representatives for the village, and the other posters are for the anti-fire, because there's forest around and it's a big thing, to protect the forest.
On the way to the market, we got intercepted by our landlord that invited us for tea, and he gave us some fruit from the garden. He has a fruit orchard. He always gives us free stuff, and he's super lovely, and that's another reason why we're moving here. People here are really friendly, kind. Like I said at the beginning, the community is very tight and close-knit. Yeah. Everyone knows everyone, and he told us also a little bit about the funeral, because obviously he was invited like the rest of the village, and they give you food in a bowl for the funeral, and you take that bowl back home.
Yeah.
And that's a good bowl, no?
Supposed to be a good luck kind of thing, because especially when the person who passed is very old, like over 90 or over 100, it's meaning that bowl is good. And so you put rice in that bowl and you give it to children, and basically the rice is going to make the children healthy.
And it's also, I guess, a way to remember the person, as you always have that bowl in your kitchen.
Exactly. Well, you imagine how many bowls you're going to have lining up.
I guess you collect bowls throughout your lifetime. And more nice places are popping up. See these signs.
Oh, this is that guy. Let's see if they're at home. Remember that couple who's renovating house here? This is their house, I think.
Oh, this is a neighbor of ours. Also moved at our same time. They're fixing up their home. They're getting some chickens and stuff. Okay, that was awkward. We knocked and it wasn't them. It was another couple that we don't know. There was a second of who are you? Who are you? Okay, come in. And they invited us in, and they're super lovely. It's another couple, more or less our age, right next door to ours.
Yeah, it was so lovely.
And they're doing their home, they're renovating it themselves, they're doing it very artsy, and they're painting it everywhere and stuff. So we got some inspiration, we exchanged contacts, and we made friends. And that's exactly the beauty of this place, I think. People are so open.
Yeah, exactly.
You knock on someone's door, you just come in, and you make friends. We gave them some fruits, they gave us some stuff.
Water. Yeah, they're you're hiking up, let me bring you some water. These are all good stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing. We are building our home here. Well, we're not really building our home here, because there's an interesting system in China where in rural areas, in villages, only people that are part of the village community, so they were born here, grow up here, are allowed to build on land or to buy and own land. What people usually do, like us, is they rent very long term, so we got a lease of 15 years. When you rent that long, you're allowed to do all the modifications they want. So it's very common to get a structure like this and then build it as if it were your home, because the material cost, the workers' cost is not hugely high for people who come from outside, so you're still able to fix up your home however you like, and you have it for 15 years. So the cost of renovation spreading over 15 years, it's not that bad. Yeah, we're gonna have a little garden. We have a couple of fruit trees already, and we're gonna have our place here in this lovely village. We really fell in love with life here, with the slow life, with the culture, with the clean food. It's just genuine, and compared to the hectic, chaotic life in cities and other places. And one big factor that contributed to our decision was also the community. There's a lot of like-minded people also from abroad that decide to come live here this way, the way we do that. So you meet people that are very cool. We already made some friends that are super cool. They really are vibe, and yeah, we're looking forward to become part of this very close-knit community. And this system that the ownership stays with the people of the village, it's really nice. Even if the outsiders come, they might open cool pricey cafes, they might renovate homes, etc., but at the end of the day it all stays in the hands and the ownership of the villagers, who eventually are the ones who are gonna set the price once this lease ends. So there's no sort of gentrification in a way where the people are going to be priced out of their homes. Outsiders come, they might raise the prices, but the value that they add stays with the locals. So we are in the main market of the town. So this is the town, and around the town there are many small villages scattered. And the first thing that I found very interesting is, if you want chicken, you get the live chicken, these guys, and he's gonna kill it for you. So yeah, I mean, that's as fresh as it gets. And he also has eggs from them. So if you want to buy a chicken, just come here, you pick one that is alive, the guy takes it in the back, and you have chicken. And the same thing happens with the fish. Let's go have a look at the fish. The fish, you get it alive, and then they kill it for you. Put it back. Congratulations, you're hired. So you pick the red fish, and here in this indoor area you have all the stuff. So there's meat here that I will never buy in my life. The veggies, they're all fresh. We were delayed by the funeral, so there's not a lot going on, but there's all these barbecues, stalls. This is the fruit woman, we usually buy fruit from her. Another egg woman. I'm gonna show you how much we spent on groceries back home, but first let's have some noodles. Look, a big bowl of mixian, which is the rice noodles. It's only 9 kwai. That's around $1. Once they serve you the mixian, you help yourself with all the condiments.
This one tastes different from the other ones because it's not fully local, but I like the thick noodle because the local noodle is like kind of sticky and very soft and thin, but this one is the regular slippery rice noodle, like thick.
Another cool thing, we can always leave this out, no one takes it, and we got a bunch of deliveries this morning. We've been out all morning, no one touches anything here. Let's go see how much the grocery was. Right, so all this cost us roughly $9 to $10, and a big part of it's the fruit stuff. Like the mango is a bit pricier, the avocado a bit pricier. If you take the fruit out, the ladies, they would give you like an entire bag of carrots or an entire bag of onions or tomatoes, and then you would ask how much is this, and they'd be like, oh, 2 kwai, 3 kwai, meaning, 30-40 cents. So it's really convenient. A lot of stuff also comes from their fields, hence the low price, and it's also more genuine. And guys, we've been in China almost 9 months, meaning there's a ton of content about to come out about major tourist destination, about hidden gems, about social phenomena, and a lot of it was possible to share with you just because we stayed here long and because Jay's local knowledge. So it's stuff that you won't find anywhere else. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. And in the meantime, I'm gonna leave you with a beautiful video about Hangzhou, one of our favorite city in China, so you can compare life in the city with life in the village, and let us know what you think. Bye.